guys, so I'm on holiday at the moment in Nice, south of France, and I'm having a cracking time. I've done a lot of reading, and if you follow my Twitter, you'll have kept abreast of what I have been reading. I thought what I'll do is give a quick video summary of the books I've read recently, rather than doing individual ones when I get home, so they're fresh in my memory. First, I started off with The House with Chicken Legs, a brilliant book by Sophie Anderson. Now, I know this has been doing the rounds on Twitter, it's been really, really popular, and it was a book I enjoyed immensely. Strong themes of death, loss, longing, and most importantly, I think, trying to gain an appreciation for what you do have when you have it, because once it's gone, it could be gone forever. It focuses on the journey of a young girl whose job essentially is to become a guardian for those who have died and are going to enter the afterlife. It's essentially guarding the gate and guiding people into the afterlife. It's a brilliant book, some fantastic imagery, and a really wonderful, deep story. I fully recommend. Next up, I read Theodore Boone, The Fugitive by John Grisham. Now, John Grisham is one of my favourite authors, one of my favourite sort of adult authors. Obviously, we know he does a lot of sort of crime and legal fiction, lots of thrillers. Now, this is part of his young adult or middle grade series. It focuses on a young boy, Theodore Boone, who is a 13-year-old boy who is essentially obsessed with being a lawyer. Both of his parents are lawyers. He loves the idea of being a lawyer and spends a lot of time in the local courtroom. Theodore finds himself entwined in a very exciting murder case and actually proves quite key in bringing the assailant to justice. Won't ruin it, very exciting story, and I've actually gone back and I'm currently reading the first in this series. It's one I would highly recommend. Book 3, Emma Carroll's Secrets of a Sun King. This is great. When I was younger, I was really, really into, I guess you call it Egyptology, the sort of discoveries of tombs and pharaohs, and this brought it flooding back to me. It focuses on the journey of 3 children, essentially to go to Egypt and find out the truth that happened for Tutankhamun. The children sort of trick their way into a trip to Egypt because one of the children's parents is a journalist. They end up in Cairo. They end up trying to find out the truth behind what has happened to Tutankhamun as a boy. Something slightly different to what Howard Carter has led the world to believe. It's really exciting, beautiful, beautiful description. It takes you back to 1922. It makes you feel that you're there, and it gets you thinking about that period of history in a really wonderful way. So that was a lovely book, Emma Carroll's Secrets of a Sun King. Book 4 was The Explorer by Catherine Rundle. This was awesome. This centred around 4 children who crashed. They crashed into the Amazon rainforest. The children, 2 were from Brazil, 2 were from England. They formed a very unlikely bond. They sort of journeyed their way to a lost city. They met an explorer, the explorer, who taught them how to hunt, taught them how to survive, and essentially found themselves in the rainforest. The story focuses on their journey of discovery, their journey of survival, and we meet lots of wonderful characters along the way. It's beautifully descriptive, this book. You can picture in your mind the rainforest, you can smell the beautiful smells, you can hear the sounds, you can picture those electrifying colours that you would see there. And I think it's a book that would fit very, very well with a sort of South America or rainforest type topic, which I know Year 5 at my school do. I really enjoyed that. It's a meaty book. It's just over 400 pages, but the way the words are spaced out does make it read a lot quicker than that. It's probably more like a 320 page book. I really enjoyed it. Lastly, I read The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. Now, this is a book for slightly older children. This has some very colourful language, which I wouldn't want to recommend for children at primary school. It focuses around the world of an autistic boy who is very, very confused and finds himself in a situation where the neighbour's dog has been stabbed with a pitchfork. He wants to find out the truth. He's obsessed with detecting, as he calls it, He wants to find out the truth, and he wants to bring the assailant to justice. That is one part of the story. Alongside that, there is also the strained relationship he has with his father, the truth behind his mother's death 2 years ago, and his journey to try and reconnect with members of the family that he's become unattached from. It's a fantastic story written from the sort of first-hand perspective of a boy who is heavily autistic. It gives you a real insight into the world of autism, the way they see the world, the children or those individuals that may have this condition, and it really does help you empathise with that. I think from a teaching perspective, I certainly teach and have taught children who themselves have this condition, and I think from my point of view, I found it a very useful read, just to give me a little snippet into how that sort of mind might work. So I really, really enjoyed that. I look forward to hopefully one day seeing the play of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night Time. I've gone on now to read on my Kindle the first book in the series, John Grisham, Theodore Boone. I'm about 120 pages in. Really, really pacey read. I'm enjoying it, and I'll update you guys at some point. But as I say, bit of a different video. I've tried to cram lots of different books into one. But as you can see, I've been thoroughly enjoying my holiday to France, thoroughly enjoying my reading, and hope this proves useful. Cheers, guys.